Hello, I'm Stephen Mill. Constraints is a card deck for web folk. Web designers, developers, UX designers, content strategists, producers, all of us that make bits of the internet. Constraints help us to get better at what we do by helping us to play with our design problems. One thing we all have in common is that we learn. We all learn all the time. We have to. We learn from books, podcasts, conferences, workshops, meetups, Twitter, colleagues, the list's endless. We learn skills. But I believe there's something missing from our toolkit. I don't think we practice enough. Musicians practice, sports people practice, surgeons practice. A lot of people practice. They likely practice more than they do. Webfolk practice too, but we call it hacking. Sometimes that's practice, but sometimes it's just hacking. So what's the difference? For practice to work, it needs to be challenging. Not so challenging that you freak out and hate your brain. Not so easy that you coast, allowing your brain to fall asleep. You need to be in control but pushed a little, ideally in a new direction, for your brain to pay attention and grow. Constraints cards aim to turn more of your hacking into effective practice. Adding constraints to your hack session keeps your brain engaged. All of the cards in the deck are aimed squarely at challenging the way you work, pushing you to find new, often better techniques and ways of thinking about your design problems. Some of the cards are direct, some are open to interpretation, some block, some point, some complement each other, some compete, and yeah, some will be just annoying. So, how do we play? There are endless ways to use constraints cards, both in practice and live work, in formal and informal ways, solo and in teams, but here are a couple. The 3 card to do. This is the hello world of constraints, that practice classic, the to-do list, with a twist. Draw 3 cards and write a to-do app which takes them literally and absolutely obeys them. Work on paper and code or in mock-ups, it really doesn't matter. What matters is that you're flexing your design thinking muscles. The problem reboot. When you're stuck in a design problem, set a timer and draw a card. Work on your problem, sketching ideas under that new constraint until the bell. Then repeat. Repeat this 3 or 4 times, and I'm pretty confident you'll have solved your problem. It works for me. So, the cards themselves. There are 54 cards in total, 20 are very code focused, 32 are more general design constraints applicable to any situation, and we have 2 jokers. The cards are printed on heavy stock, they're built to last, they're built to be used every day. The Smart Box is a secure carry pack for your cards so they can live in your bag. It looks great on your desk and it even doubles as a stand for your current constraint card so it can sit there staring at you all day. And logbooks, small pocketable notebooks with a pre-printed format to help capture your constraints sessions. When you write it down, you remember it. So why Kickstarter? I started sketching the ideas that turned into constraints cards back in November last year while in Belfast for Build. In the 5 months since then, I've gone through a number of prototypes, made a couple of test print runs, I've shared decks with a bunch of webfolk locally, and taken the cards through a number of test runs and redrafts. The feedback's been really encouraging, so it's time to let the world see them. Kickstarter will hopefully let me go for a bigger print run to keep the cost of the deck down and make it possible to do the Smart Box and the logbooks justice too. So, if you build internet for a living, go on, treat yourself, back this project, add a deck of constraints cards to your toolkit, and have more fun playing with your design problems. Thank you for taking the time to watch this. Follow me on Twitter @StephenMill for updates, and I look forward to sending you some constraints cards soon. Thank you.